Chapter 9. Rise of the Bronze Plate. The citadel did not erupt into chaos. It restrained itself. And that restraint was far more dangerous. The silence after revelation. When Thomas entered the sanctum, the weight of his presence settled over every soul within it. No one questioned it. No one challenged it. Because something deeper than logic had already answered for them. Recognition. Not of a title. Not of a claim. But of truth, long denied. The founder stood before them, not as a legend, not as a relic of the past, but as a living force. Whole once more. The council divides. The elders were the first to recover, and the first to fracture. One stepped forward, voice steady but guarded. If you are who you appear to be, then you abandoned this guild. Another countered immediately, or perhaps he entrusted it to us, and we failed to uphold it. The chamber shifted, not physically, but politically. Loyalties began to surface. Not all welcomed his return. Because power, once held, is not easily surrendered. The founder speaks. Thomas did not raise his voice. He did not assert dominance. Yet when he spoke, the chamber aligned. The guild was never mine to own. Silence followed. It was built to protect, to guide, to endure beyond any one man. His gaze moved across the council, not accusing, not forgiving, measuring. What it has become is what you have chosen. No one answered, because no one could deny it. The sun stand between worlds. Behind him, the three sons stood, not as children, not as observers, but as those now caught between legacy and future. Darren felt the weight first. Leadership had always been his path, but now it stood in the shadow of something greater than ambition. Leo's mind raced, recalculating everything he thought he understood about the guild, about systems, about control. Soren remained still. His connection to the relic had not vanished. It had shifted from inheritance to alignment. The fracture becomes conflict. Not all remained silent. A high-ranking commander stepped forward, armored, resolute, unwilling to yield. A legend returning does not erase the present. His voice carried support. Others stepped beside him. Not traitors, but men who had built their authority in the founder's absence. The guild stands because of us, not because of memory. The line had been drawn, not between right and wrong, but between past and present, the test of authority. No duel was declared, no formal challenge issued, but the tension demanded resolution. The commander advanced, not recklessly, but deliberately. Testing. Thomas did not move to strike. He simply stood and waited. The demonstration,
The first attack came fast, precise, powerful, practiced. It never landed. Not because it was blocked, but because it was understood before it existed. Thomas shifted, barely, a movement so minimal it seemed insignificant. Yet it dismantled the entire attack. The commander staggered not from force, but from realization. No victory, only truth. Thomas did not press forward. He did not retaliate. He did not claim dominance because he did not need to. The message was clear, not spoken, but undeniable. The turning of the guild. One by one, the resistance faltered. Not in fear, but in clarity. They were not facing a man reclaiming power. They were facing the standard by which power was meant to be held. Some lowered their heads, others stepped back. A few remained still uncertain, but no longer defiant. A new order begins. The council reformed in that moment. Not through decree, but through recognition. The bronze plate does not need a ruler, one elder said quietly. It needs direction. All eyes turned, not only to Thomas, but to the sons. The founder's choice. Thomas turned slightly enough for his sons to step forward into the light. The future does not belong to me. His voice was calm, certain. It belongs to those who will carry it forward. Darren straightened. Leo steadied his breath. Soren met his father's gaze, not as a child, but as one who understood reformation. Divided ranks reassigned, loyalty tested not to a man, but to purpose. The guild did not fall. It reformed. The shadow beyond, far beyond the citadel, in regions untouched by its influence. Something stirred. The awakening beneath the world had not ended. It had only begun to respond. As if the return of the founder had signaled something far greater.